Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about Ulysses by James Joyce. Now, before I go into summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. All right, Ulysses by James Joyce. Very interesting work here. A lot of things are happening. A lot of things are happening. This definitely echoes the Odyssey. Um, you know, we have this man by the name of Leopold Bloom. He's on a journey, just like Odysseus. He's trying to make it back home to his family. And Bloom here within this work, he's also trying to make it back home. We see him in one day in his life, he goes out and then he comes back. But a lot of things happen while he's out. He meet this man by the name of Stephen Dedalus, Buck Mulligan, and there's lots of other characters. Now, Bloom's wife, Molly, she's having an affair. She's having an affair with this guy by the last name of Boylan. And this is all just happening. I mean, we just get thrown into this world of all these characters and their lives. Because, this is one day in their lives. So we just get everything that's happening to them and what they're all going through. Stephen, Buck, Haynes, I mean, they're all young and they are just in the prime of their lives, trying to figure out their lives. But Bloom, on the other hand, he has a wife, he has a child, and his wife is having an affair. And for Molly, it's more that there's certain things in her marriage that are not being met, certain connections that she should have with Bloom that's just not there. So there are reasons why the affair is present and why it occurs within the work. We do know that they have a son by the name of Rudy that died. So that also, whenever there's a dead child within a marriage, that always, it's a big stressor. It's a big strain on the marriage. And definitely Bloom is not over the child. It's a part of his emotional landscape that you just don't get over your child dying. So it's something that Bloom deals with throughout the work, when he remembers the child, and it's not easy, losing a child. They do have a daughter by the name of Millie, so they do have a living kid. But still, it's not easy to lose a son, as they did. So within the work, we see Stephen and Bloom. They do meet, and they go to a brothel together. They just have a wild night. Um, Buck Mulligan and Steven, they're friends, but they do have a lot of fights, like verbal fights, and their relationship has a lot of detriments and stress, and they're also roommates, but they don't get along 100%. Within this work, there's a lot of ideas about culture, politics going on. So these characters, there's several characters that are talking about art, politics, life in Dublin, life in Ireland. So there's a lot going on in terms of the lives of these characters, what they think, what they believe. In the mind of Bloom, we also get his sexual landscape and how weird and like he's not doing anything, you know, dark. It's just his life. I mean, he does end up at a brothel. Um, you know, so it's just there's certain things about his life sexually that he has to understand, that he has to go through. We know that his family life with his wife, or his sexual life with his wife, it's not as crystal clear or as perfect as it can be. Because I mean, throughout the work, he's thinking about this affair that his wife is having, and he knows about the affair. He even knows the guy um, that his wife is having the affair with. He knows about Boylan. So within the work, we do see, um, you know, Bloom and Steven. We see them go through several things together after they get introduced. We see them, getting to know each other, talking about different things. We see Bloom actually throughout the work go to a lot of places, restaurants, art galleries, hospitals, a funeral, and his interactions with so many different types of people. He's just going around Dublin. There's several different situations that he experiences, several different people, several different characters that we meet. So this work is definitely like the Odyssey. He's definitely a modern day Odysseus, just wandering around, going through different types of experiences. Ultimately, he ends up back home and he tells Molly about his day, but she's thinking about other things like her menstrual cycle. She's thinking about her period. She's thinking about her affairs. She's thinking about when she ultimately said yes to marrying her husband. So yeah, it's very interesting. In terms of deeper meaning and analysis here, I mean, this work, um, you're getting a look into these characters. Um, Leopold Bloom is definitely trying to make it back home. His home life is not perfect. I mean, when Odysseus makes it back home, his wife is waiting for him, and she's not having an affair. She's not sleeping with anybody. But you know, Molly here is. So there are some differences. But the idea of Leopold Bloom making it back home and going through a bunch of things before he makes it back home, that's definitely the same connection with Odysseus. Um, Bloom is definitely, I mean, he has a lot to deal with. He's dealing with the loss of Rudy, his son. He's dealing with this affair that his wife is having, and he's not okay with it, but he knows about it. He's dealing with his own sexual, because we see him think about sex a lot. Um, so, you know, that's quite, that's another topic to talk about. Um, yeah. So his sex life is just there's a lot of question marks to the point where he ends up like masturbating and things like that. So him within the work is just all over the place, sexually, emotionally, um, with his family, with the people that he spends time with. Um, and I mean, you can see the connection with Odysseus because I mean, Odysseus was having a lot of sex when he was in, throughout the Odyssey. He's Odysseus. I mean, his wife couldn't touch anybody, but Odysseus was just having a good old time. Um, but in this, it's kind of flipped around where the wife is having a good old time while Bloom is just an emotional um, mystery because we really don't know um, like the relationship that they have is just so strange. I mean, although Bloom knows that his wife is having the affair, and he knows the guy that the affair is being had with, he's not doing anything to stop it or to do anything about it or to reassure his wife. It's just like he's just not gonna do anything. And because of his sexual extracurriculars, the brothel and everything, we can assume that I mean, there's the sexual connection between him and his wife are just, well, the affair that she's having too. It's just, yeah, it raises a lot of questions, and it's a mystery in of itself. So the work um, definitely begs a lot of questions. It definitely asks a lot of questions about people, family, understanding one another, politics, and viewpoints. Because again, we have a lot of conversations here about, uh, you know, the country, the people, the politics, and we get insight into a lot of different characters within this work and what they're going through and what they're dealing with. In many ways, this is like the Odyssey because it's like a bunch of lost people trying to find their place within the world and ultimately trying to find their home. Bloom himself, he went out, he went on a great adventure, a great journey, and I guess in some way he does make it back home. So that is probably the biggest connection between the Odyssey and Ulysses by James Joyce here. In terms of recommendation, this work I do recommend it in terms of um, understanding, like, it gives you a great insight into the human condition in terms of what life is like for many people. I mean, things are not always just straightforward. Most people always picture this, wonderful life, this fairy tale life, but people don't think about adultery and affairs and losing a child and the politics of life and not having things the way that you wanted and death and childbirth and all the things that can just go wrong in life. So it's a different perspective, and the work doesn't really end with us having everything solved. There's a lot of works out there where by the end of the book, everything, there's a solution to it. I mean, Leopold does make it back home, but it's not like all of his problems are just fixed at the end of the day. Because keep in mind, this all happens within a day. So we just get an account of what's going on and the lives of these characters. We're not really here or in the book to find solutions. Most books, they give you the introduction of the characters, the big problem that they're having, and the solution. This book, it's not really focused on giving you a solution to everything. It's just giving you insight into a day and the life of these characters and this pretty much odyssey that they go on. So, for the mystery of it all, for the randomness that happens within this work, I do recommend it. I think the characters themselves just give you a different perspective um, on what's going on in their lives and the world that they live in, and the human aspect of them. So it's just very interesting. Well, all right, that's all I had to say. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.